Hello and welcome. Welcome to this week's support for the Genius Insight app. This is Dr. Ariel Policano. I'm a real doctor, a naturopathic doctor that got traditional medical training and traditional clinical rounds and so forth. And my life and my career has taken me in many directions, but one of the most important directions is the discovery of biofeedback. Biofeedback is a tool that can be used by anyone. Anyone willing to learn this software can make a profound change in their life in many different ways. My goal is to teach you how to use this in a way that can benefit you and benefit your family, and if you choose to make a career out of it, to show you how to use biofeedback in a professional setting. We still have our biofeedback class going on. So if you're interested in a class, it is a paid class, but it is a class that gives you a turnkey way to utilize biofeedback in a professional setting. So we'll have that link down below shortly. You can still join the class and get the recorded classes that we've done already. We've been able to set up different types of sessions and strategies in the class that have made all the difference to the participants. I want to welcome all the new users of the program, people who are new to the program. I really want to warmly welcome you to our community. The Genius Insight is a unique community where we meet every week. We have Facebook groups. We really ask people to be a part of this. We don't just sell you the program and send you on your way. We stay involved with you to the extent that you want to be involved in the Facebook groups where we're talking about cases, in the weekly support class, in the ongoing classes that I give to empower you, to help to make you or help you to be a better practitioner. So every week we answer questions about how the program works, about how you can be better, and this is an opportunity for you to get your questions answered. So if you have questions about how the program works or how to solve a case, this is the place for you to do that. So I'm here to also, answer any questions that you might have. Now, many of you know that I have been working on the vessel harmonizing system. So today I'm going to be utilizing the vessel harmonizing system for any of our volunteers. So if you'd like to volunteer, send me your date of birth in the question box, and I'll be demonstrating the harmonizing program. It's every time I think it's done, I do a little bit more to the program, you guys. That's why it hasn't been available yet. But the vessel harmonizing program is an example of what you can do with biofeedback in a profound way. The reason that the vessels were so important to me is that they hold a profound key to health for people. We have many people who have heart disease, stroke, who are at risk. The whole aging process is part of it that ages people, and a significant portion is the aging of the vessel system, and where you're getting plaquing or calcium buildup. And of course we know that this can result in a fatal event or a very dangerous, life-threatening event, but it is fully preventable through diet and lifestyle. However, sometimes you don't know where you are. You may not be able to tell that the lack of methylation in your body, the lack of nutrition, the consumption of free oils, or the consumption of meat and dairy, you may not be able to see that the rubber is meeting the road in terms of that it's threatening your health until you see the results on biofeedback, or until your client sees the result on biofeedback. And when you can see in living color that indeed there is impairment in the vessels, evidenced by the red and blue, which are not diagnostic, but which we know in many cases closely correlate what is going on with people physically, people can look at that and say, my goodness, why are there so many red areas coming up for me, especially in the neck, which is the vessels that go to the brain. And if you can see that early on, and then you can start to take some action, do some harmonizing, do some lifestyle changes, and see that the red moves to green, this is a tremendous service to mankind. This is a tremendous service to yourself. This is a tremendous service to the people around you, to show them that they're in danger, but that there's something that they can do about it. So I think that the vessel clearing and harmonizing program is one of the most important, and we're going to be demonstrating pieces of it today. I just get to almost the end of it and I realize, gosh, I just want to add this one portion so we can work on this area when we're harmonizing. Okay, so my dad volunteers. He had a surgery, 3 bypass. Okay, Kendra, that's a good one. Okay, we'll start to get to that. So Tracy's wants to volunteer, so let's see if we can talk a little bit to Tracy and find out how she's doing. And we're going to unmute you in just a second, Tracy. Thanks for volunteering. I want to welcome Elfie and Graham. Graham, a warm welcome to you, Graham H., and thank you so much for being here. Kelly, thanks a lot for joining us today. Matthew, welcome. Orlando, welcome. Karen in Canada, we're so happy to have you and your group up there. Bonnie, if you're there, we're sending you lots of love and appreciation for joining us today. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And we'll get to everyone. If you have more, if you want to volunteer for something, for me to look at something, then go ahead, and that's totally fine. I'm just going to turn the screen off for 1 second. I want to tell everyone we're going to be having a very special program coming up on November 13th, 14th, and 15th. It's going to be a free program to attend, and then we'll probably be charging a minor amount for the recording of the entire program. It is called the Genius World Summit, and it's going to take place on the 13th, 14th, and 15th, and you will all be receiving free registration information. The purpose of the program is to interview people who are out using the Genius and what they are seeing. And I know Kelly is one of our longest users of the program down in Southern California. She is going to be one of our guests, and Karen is going to be one of our esteemed practitioners on. If you know someone that you think should be a practitioner, including yourself, then please let me know. We're almost completely booked up for the 9 speakers, but if you think that there's someone important, then by all means let me know, and we want to talk with you about your experience. Tracy, I'm going to unmute you now. Let's see if we can hear you. Hi, Tracy, are you there? Hi, Tracy, can you hear me? I've unmuted you, but it looks like we're not getting your audio. Can you hear me? So it's good if you volunteer, if you can know if maybe you can talk into your computer or your iPad. Sometimes it is a little tricky. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to skip the voice in the picture. So it won't be that, you know, as awesome as if we had that, but that's okay. We just got to keep moving because we have a time to keep. But no worries. Thank you so much, Tracy, for volunteering today. And if you want to put down in the chat box what was of concern to you, we can look at that and we can see what was of concern to you. Okay, and Karen says, Bonnie and Alita are there. I'm sending you warm welcome and appreciation. Thanks you guys so much. So Tracy, maybe you can let us know down in the chat box what your concern for today was and what you'd like us to focus on. Now I'm going to go to my customized panels, and you guys, I do feel that the custom testing panels add a very important benefit to your testing, because you're able to go to places and test places and harmonize areas that you normally would not be able to. You can create these particular testing panels, or you can acquire the testing panels through me at my website, awakentotalhealth.com. For this purpose, I want to go ahead and look at some of the vessel testing panels that I have been creating, which are down here. Now, the first thing I do is I like to just see if there is any particular of the vessels. What I've done, I've mostly focused on the arteries. The arteries, think of the A in arteries. What they do is they carry the blood away from the heart, the oxygenated blood away from the heart, and they carry it towards all the vessels of the body. And the way that you stay alive and the way that you stay healthy is because that blood is being moved throughout the body. They talk about this energetically in Chinese medicine, but if you think about it even physiologically, the whole reason that the body becomes nourished, the nutrition that you eat, how does it get to you? In other words, how does it get to the cells? Is through the blood. The blood is very, very important. It not only brings oxygen, but it brings nutrition. So it is extremely important to keep this blood moving around the body. The biggest concern in life is blood stagnation in Chinese medicine. So I like to look through these arteries. I'm just trying to get some pictures up here for you guys. We're going to have some pictures in the guide that you get with the vessel harmonizing program. Let me just see if I can change this for a moment. So what I like to do, here's a small picture here, is I like to see which of these vessels is lighting up. So for here, it's the arm vessels. Now I still will test these. In fact, let's just test this major arteries here. Okay, so these are the major arteries of the body. And then what I'm testing for here is I just want to see where some of the major concerns are. This does not mean that the person is in imminent danger. It could be anything. It could be lack of blood flow today. But my take on this is that harmonizing them on a regular basis has value. So we have the splenic artery. That's going to be near the spleen. So it's going to be an artery of digestion. We have the right common carotid artery. So right around here, the carotid artery. So we want to include that. Now that does bring circulation up to the brain, up to this upper area. So that's certainly a concern. The internal iliac artery is going to be down in here. So this is digestion. So it could be an impairment of digestion, or it could be the other way around. It could be that the lack of blood flow is impairing digestion. It could be that a digestive issue is showing up in the vessel as a blockage or some impairment of the vessel. It could be, it sort of goes either way. The same thing with the nerves. We've got the left coronary artery. This is a major artery in the body. Again, we don't know what the particular issue is. It could just be lack of exercise. Or it could be some oxidative damage. It could be something else going on. The point is we do want to balance it. We've got the anterior tibial artery down here. Now, when you're considering your client or yourself, you want to, when you're considering vessel health overall, and this is included in the program, is a couple of things that you can really do that are very, very easy. Look at the feet and look at the hands and look at the legs. Do they have injuries that are taking a long time to heal? So, if somebody stubs their toe or they cut their leg, does it take a long time to heal? This is a sign of poor perfusion, which has to do with circulation in the body. So that means they're not moving the blood from the central area of the body to the extremities. It is the first sign that something is not right in the cardiovascular system. So Do they have telangiectasias? Do they have, these are the little spider veins. Do they have some type of varicosity, varicose veins? What is going on? If you're able to have them so that they wear sweatpants or something, and you can just see, they pull up maybe to their knees, and you can just see their legs and their feet, that will tell you a lot. Most people think a fungus, a toe fungus, that is something that's external. While it can be controlled temporarily through an external cream, it is most certainly not because exclusively poor hygiene, because your body has an immune system. But when the circulation decreases in the body, you will see more toe fungus. It's a sign of impairment of circulation. Now, we're not saying that Tracy has any of these things. We're just doing a review here. Ascending aorta. So this is another major vessel in the body. The thyrocervical trunk. This is around the thyroid. So my thinking is there could be correlative issues with the thyroid. Common hepatic artery, popliteal artery, the left gastric artery. So what we're getting here is indications of major vessels to work on, which are good and which are typical. You know, we all have some stuff to work on. It's not to get particularly freaked out about. And we do see some extremity issues, so issues in the extremities, and we see some digestive issues through this. Now, they may be digestive, they may be not. I'm just telling you where I see the impairments. So we're going to harmonize those. Now, of course, think of the vessels and the heart as going hand in hand. So any issues around self-love, forgiveness, broken heart, all of them do play into this. So that's why we have the different things here, like the energetic considerations, which I'm going to get to in just one moment. I wanted to actually look at emotions. So emotions that might be up for the person, so I am lovable would be a good affirmation. She might be totally in touch with this, and that's totally fine. I forgive. I am free from the illusion of fear. That's less resonant, but still important. All of those, these all ring true for her, right? Because these are all green. I am open to love. I am worthy. I am courageous. Those are ones that resonate as, yes, affirmative for her. In other words, she doesn't need to take that affirmational medicine. Those are things that she's already has in her system. So the solutions then, what are some lifestyle or supplemental solutions that would be good for her at this juncture to assist the vessel health in addition to harmonizing, or adding an additional frequency to the harmonizing mix? So this is a form called PQQ, which is a very particular form of CoQ10. Barley grass, so the alkalizing aspect of the grass, that makes sense. It's going to purify the blood. It will help to oxygenate the blood. Two lower resonating pieces, which I still consider important, is ginger. That's going to help the circulation overall. Very good for kapha types in Ayurvedic medicine. So if you're slower to anger, if you keep weight on easily, if you're sort of slow moving, that type of thing, ginger is a very good herb for those kapha types. Iodine is also very, very good for any cardiovascular issues. It is an important nutrient for the heart overall, one we don't really think of very much, right? We think of other things, arginine, CoQ10, magnesium, but iodine is really, really important for good heart function. Best form of iodine would be kelp, the food-based iodine, dull seaweed-based. The next would be nascent iodine, if you need to take it medicinally, and the next would be Lugol's iodine, with Lugol's being very good for external application. So for an example, one of our students, what she does when she sees high resonance with biofeedback for breast cancer, she actually will do a lot of external Lugol's iodine application actually to the breast tissue, until when she tests herself, she no longer sees that resonance energetically for breast cancer. Everything happens in the energetic field before it happens in the body. That means in biofeedback, you are getting the benefit of a sneak peek of what is going on. We see carnosine. This is good for the mitochondria, and the heart itself is very rich with mitochondria. Carnosine has been called the anti-aging supplement, and carnosine is different from carnitine. Carnosine is particularly for the mitochondria. Taurine is very important for the heart. Hawthorn berry, very important for the heart. So even though we're talking about the vessels, everything ultimately originates from the heartbeat. Now let's look at the other vessels. Let's see why this arm vessels is coming up red. And so this could be, say she has her neck is out, or she has lots of shoulder and neck issues. This could be why this is coming up. The median artery is going to be close to the median nerve. So this is somewhere in the, down the arm and into the hand. Then we go down to the bottom, the axillary. So there's probably, we'd want to join this up with the nerve testing and see the correlation there. But there definitely seems to be some neck and shoulder theme going on here. Now, I do recommend also testing emotions. This is really to create that nice, successful, juicy balancing. People say to me, you know, what is the value of the program? What can the program do for me? Is it guaranteed to change me overnight? It is very powerful, but it's more powerful if you understand how to use these frequencies and how to formulate your balancing, which is what we achieve in the biofeedback practitioner program. That's where we talk about strategies and protocols, and I really applaud all the people who have joined me in the practitioner program. So what I say to people when I'm doing their emotions is, this is, everyone has emotions that are out of balance. I have emotions in red and blue. Everybody does. Just take these with a grain of salt. If anything resonates, just allow it to release. If you say this to people and they take this pretty well, what you could probably see energetically is that people are discharging black or dark energy as they're recognizing the truth of these emotions, because they're releasing that disharmony, that blockage that they have. It's like rage, oh yeah, okay, and they even go to maybe that place where they know they have or experience rage, and there is a nugget, there is the piece of that that begins to release just in recognition. Now we go to the Bach flower essences. These are an important part of every balancing session because they represent the vehicle that people will heal themselves. They recognize, they represent the frequency upon which there is an exit place, a place of positive exit, a place of positive healing, because these frequencies connect the emotions with the solution. So this, when it sort of reads you, it reads the issues that are going on with you in a very profound way. We don't read every single one of these. We include many as a broad check. However, when we get to progressive insights, only one will rise to the very top. And that one, along with maybe another two at the top, will be the most significant. And this is telling the story of evolution for this person. It is telling where they are in their journey at this time. So we utilize that for what is the issue that is the hot button issue for them, because it has the most potential for transformation at this time. It doesn't mean it's their constitutional issue or it's their only flower essence or it's the only one that will ever come up with them. It's merely naming that issue at this time that will have the highest impact for them. And okay, so we've got clematis, we've got sadness, we've got misery, we've got left gastric artery, we've got some other emotional stuff, We've got the dorsal carpal branch, more shoulder and finger stuff going on there. Finger, hand. We've got a nice affirmation, median artery, rock rose, anxiety. Lots of energetic, lots of emotional energy. And we do see this with our healers, right? Our healers are very, very powerful. They're very, very empathic. They pick up other people's emotions. They're moved through life through their emotions. This is how even their compassion and sympathy for other people is part of their makeup. That's part of who they are. So we do have, I believe Tracy does healing professionally, so we see some of that in her personality there. So Clematis is dreaming of the future without working in the present. Who doesn't do that from time to time? And we've got Rock Rose is another one. Rock Rose is, I'm having trouble here with all of my media. So Rock Rose is terror and fright. And there may be just something that's past life that's clearing out. Wild Rose is a drifting, resignation, and apathy. Now, there may not be any element to what she's going through that relates to that. Now, I'm going to be teaching about this more in our practitioner class this week, but I do want to mention I'm going to be demonstrating that in the practitioner class is our cell cleansing, our advanced technique, which is really, really cool. What we're going to do is we are going to play these frequencies for the person, but for our in-person clients, what we're going to do is we're going to imprint these frequencies into water with a remedy plate. If you want to get a remedy plate, it's on my website at awakentotalhealth.com for just $177. We send you free shipping a remedy plate. And I'm going to be doing more videos on that so you can see me working with it. However, what you do is you imprint these first frequencies into water and have them drink 10 drops of the water. You then have them just sit quietly for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then you retest them. During the time that they're sitting is a wonderful time to have them watch the water harmonizing program. So they watch the water harmonizing program while they rest quietly for 1 to 2 minutes. Then you take their picture and voice again and you retest them. This is a process of cell clearing, cell cleansing. What we do is we shift their energy in the moment, and then based on the shifted energy, we reevaluate their frequency, and then we test them again. An alternative way to do this is to simply have them without going back out to the voice and picture, simply have them take the remedy, rest, and then just test some more screens for them. This is a little bit more practical in terms of the time that you have in the clinic. So you've had them drink the water for, you've had them rest for 1 to 2 minutes, and then you just add some things in. Like I can go back to my vessel program and I can add in some other items. So let me just go back down to here. Let's just say that we've done that for her, and then we retest her. So when we're testing right at this moment, we are also testing in the quantum field. So when we test her after she's received from some frequencies, even long distance, she changes. She's changed. Her energy isn't the same as when we've started. Now, many of you say to me, but Ariel, you're still working with the same voice and picture. But we are picking up her energy in real time in the quantum field. This, necessitates an understanding of quantum physics and quantum energy, but it's similar to, the easiest explanation is it's similar to Reiki. So can you send someone Reiki wherever they are in the world? Do you need their phone number to send them Reiki? No, you do not. And it works the same way with quantum biofeedback. We can tap into her energy in real time in the quantum field and recheck her now based on the changes that she is making. So let's go to just one more. I just wanted to go to the type of vessels, the vessel type. This just tells us which of the vessels need the most attention. And yeah, this may be the lower extremity areas that we're picking up there with the veins. There are pretty good things for venous stability, or they say venous fragility. So for the veins, for stabilizing the veins, people who have weaker veins, the first place it might show up for them might be hemorrhoids, or it might be varicose veins. So for venous, for the venous system, we use, it can sound really impressive at cocktail parties when you say it. We have Aesculus hippocastinatum. It's about the most impressive herb you can ever say to anyone. The Latin name is Aesculus hippocastinatum, but it is horse chestnut. So that's one herb that we use for hemorrhoids or for stabilizing if you don't want to have varicose veins. And that may be a good herb in this particular case because we see the veins and the venules are being affected here. Another good one is blueberry. So all of the flavonoid, green tea, everything that's flavonoid rich. Now, one minor point that I always find fascinating is, let's say the veins are not as strong as they could be based on this lack of blueberry or flavonoids to stabilize those vessels. It may also be indicating that she needs flavonoids throughout the rest of the body for different reasons. So it's something that we want to, as a practitioner, we want to think about. This is where, as a good practitioner, you say to yourself, isn't that interesting? So instead of worrying that you don't know or understand things that come up in the program, first of all, remember with my mastery guide, you can always get answers, right? In the mastery guide, every piece that's in your program is defined. And in these guides that I give with my special testing libraries, I try to teach you what some of these things mean. But you can always just say to yourself, isn't that interesting that veins and venules come up because those are related? Isn't that interesting that maybe if she needs the blueberry, she may need it flavonoids in other areas that help to reduce inflammation? Okay, so just one more here. I wanted to include hormones. Hormones regulate the vessels. So if the vessels don't have good health in terms of them opening and closing, that can be partially based on brain health and pituitary health and hypothalamic health. So we want to bring that in. For me, one of the things I love the most about studying the health of the body is the relationships. And if you can master and start to just observe some of the relationships, that can be very, very fascinating. The reason that ovaries and uterus are included here is because they are always giving feedback loops to the brain. And the brain is the master gland. And they're sending feedback loops the other way. Well, if there's an impairment in anything, the reproductive organs, the brain, all of this actually has impact on your vessel health, because how open those vessels are or when they close is based very much on a hormonal formulation, the hormonal balance in your body. And you guys, anybody who's trying to control hormones, the best place to control or deal with hormones, or to include when you're dealing with hormones, is the brain itself. So if you are balancing hormones, be sure to include the brain frequencies. That's very, very important. Okay, so Tracy says my blood pressure was up. Okay, so this is actually massively important, and I did not know this. I know that you mentioned in your email, but I'm realizing now this is all sort of perfect. That we were demonstrating the harmonizing program today, the vessel harmonizing program. Okay, so Shireen says, hello Ariel, I was reading today about an enzyme serrapeptase to reduce vascular inflammation. Is this something that you would suggest? Yes, definitely. These proteolytics are very good. Serrapeptase is one. There's a newer one that people are using, which is lumbrokinase. And we talked about both of these in my heart class, which you can download and use that along with the panels for testing the heart and the vessels. That was when I did a little while back. And yeah, so you could definitely use serrapeptase. It's a proteolytic enzyme that helps to reduce inflammation in the body and inflammation in the vessels. Dennis's awesome work on the vessel program. Thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate it. And Tracy says there is a lot of neck stiffness. So that was really interesting to be able to connect that. Let's peel that onion layer one more time, and I hope you guys are doing that in your balancing as well, in your harmonizing. Now, it's really interesting that the uterus now, as the lead-in for the uterus, we weren't even testing hormones, but we wanted to make sure that the vessels themselves were opening and closing, that the musculature, the smooth muscle of the vessels were opening and closing properly. And when a woman is near or at menopause, there is a lot of misfiring between the brain, the uterus, and the ovaries, and certainly harmonizing or recognizing those can be immensely important. So now we've actually found a relationship between the reproductive system and the vessels, and now we have the input from the client that indeed she's been having blood pressure issues. Well, this relates directly to blood pressure. So I guess that sometimes in my medical brain, I bypass some of the most important concepts, which is the signs that you're having impairment in the vessels are high blood pressure, if you're at risk of stroke. The vessels themselves, the best way to control blood pressure is to gain some control of the vessels. If the vessels start to build up plaque or calcifications, that increases something called peripheral resistance, which begins to elevate the blood pressure. The first place that you're ever looking for blood pressure regulation is not the blood pressure medication. You want to look at the kidneys. You want to look at the mineral status in the body. So this is all related to vessel health and what we've tried to address in the program. So we've got a couple of emotions working themselves out here. Hawthorn berry, this seriously is like the elixir for mankind. You know the expression, let food be your medicine, and you know that also Hippocrates said, let medicine be your food. Let medicine be your food. What in the heck does that mean? Does that mean you should eat all the blood pressure pills in your medicine cabinet? No, but the medicine he was referring to is the medicine that's out, in the forest and the fields. These are herbal remedies. Well, what we do with hawthorn is we take that medicine and we create it as a food. And that's one of the best formulations I really, really like, which is the hawthorn berry solid extract. It's basically hawthorn berry jam. There is no better herb in my mind for the Western population. It'd be better if maybe we could get Coca-Cola to add, or I don't know, Kelly, didn't you work for one of the soft drink companies? If they could just put a little bit of hawthorn berry into all of the soda drinks, it would be a really good idea. What hawthorn does is it helps the heart to beat more efficiently. And in fact, Tracy, this is a very good herb for you with regard to blood pressure. Even for people who are very, very ill, who have had congestive heart failure, it can work in some ways like digitalis, but more gentle. It also seems to have quite a bit of plant spirit medicine in it. So, in other words, it's like, your mom's hug, or a good friend. It's like, it's very gentle, it's very loving. So hawthorn berry you can get it in the solid extract and then have it as a tea, or just eat it off the teaspoon, or whatever, and it acts like medicine. So I really like these types of delivery systems of herbs because it is letting medicine be your food. And I really like what one sort of philosopher about this said at one time, that traditionally the indigenous peoples of the world really engaged in this. And other herbs were more a part of the traditional menu. Like throughout the year, you would always have different types of herbs that you were consuming. And one of the biggest problems with Western civilization is that we are devoid of that consumption or participation in that herbal medicine today. And that may be one of the reasons people find themselves availing pharmaceutical medications, which ultimately are derivatives of those herbal medicines. So let, medicine be your food. Start to consider that perhaps you want to have more burdock root in your soups or ground milk thistle seeds in your smoothies. So these could be really, really beneficial. Okay, the thyrocervical trunk. Again, there's that shoulder stuff. I do think that postural correction, massage, the Egoscue method, yoga, all of these things could probably be very, very helpful. Structured cellular water could be spring water, or you could create that with your water harmonizer. Lots of nice emotional clearing. This is how I try to show this to the client. This just means it's really, really productive. You're moving a lot of energy out. That's all that emotions are energy. So she's able to really clear these in a powerful way. Cherry plum is fear of the mind giving way. Maybe worried about anything having to do with brain function. And that may be, when people hear that, you guys, they may be able to just clear it in an instant, or it's just, people want to be understood. And by using the vehicle in my mastery guide where I've talked about the flower essences, and you just gently share with them, this is what this flower essence means. And I've tried to make it very short and concise, and then they may completely just release it. They can let it go. In other words, it does not necessarily have to be a 15-year therapy session every week. They may just be able to release it, or they may recognize that issue now that they want to take in a new direction. Would it work as well if you made it with the remedy plate? Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely do flower essences into the remedy plate and give it to them to take away. You could do the cell, when you do the cell cleansing, you discard that remedy that you used as you peeled the layer. So you discard it and then you put in fresh water, you discard it, you put in fresh water, and then you ultimately have them leave with a remedy. They could leave with the top 3 flower essences that you discover for them. You don't have to hold those essences here. You can write them down and then place them into the quick zap. That is one of the best uses for the quick zap, is to create an intentional remedy. Here you're finding the remedies that have the strongest probability of impact. But once you've discovered them, we can write down, for example, what was the one we just wrote, cherry plum. We can go back into the main part of the program, select those remedies to be placed in the quick zap, and then we make our remedy from the plate that way. Okay, so all right, so Kelly, you and I need to talk marketing herbal drinks together. We'll have to put our heads together for that. That could be a very, could be very, very successful and very useful. All right, so I do want to get to, Tracy, let me know if you think this has been helpful for you, and you and I are going to talk soon anyway. And so Deborah says, I have had whiplash my whole life, so concerns about neck vessels. Deborah, can you send me, you did send me your date of birth, so let me get to that. We've also got Christopher. Christopher, what was your main concern, and do you guys have some microphones there? Let me know if you think, okay, so let me just do this really quick. So let me know, I'm going to turn the camera off for 1 second. Tracy, if that was helpful or any feedback you have for us about that. So the vessel program, I hope it will be complete this week. As soon as it is, I'll send you an email so you can learn more about it. And thanks you guys for your patience. And we're going to go right now to Deborah. And we've got her date of birth. So sorry about not seeing the screen. You guys just hang on for 1 second. Any feedback or questions you guys have, now is a good time to put that in there. Also, if you think that you would be a good candidate for our summit, please get in touch with me as soon as possible. We need a few more speakers. We're almost full. In other words, if you use the Genius regularly, you don't have to be actually in business, being a practitioner. We do want to hear from people who are using it for their families, and we do want practitioners as well. So if you think that you use it and you have something important to share with the community, we would love to hear from you. You need to send me a message as soon as possible, Ariel at Awaken Total Health. And if you're someone who's been using it in your business, we're certainly interested in hearing from you. I just screwed up that date. Let me just get the date in there correctly. Okay, then we got the gender. We're almost ready to turn the camera back on. Let's go to our person who we probably won't be able to get audio from, so we'll just improvise. Deborah, can you hear me? Deborah, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, now I can hear you. Okay, let's get your voice recording. Okay, so let's go ahead and have you say your name and your AEIOUs over and over and over for 15 seconds, and I'm going to count you down. I'm going to start recording in 3, 2, 1. I am recording.
Deborah DeLeo, AEIOU, 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 AEI.
All righty. So, Deborah, what's going on?
I had whiplash my whole life, and didn't even realize I didn't even have a diagnosis of it.
Yeah.
For quite a while, and it's been real troublesome. I'm sure there's a lot of emotional things tied to it.
Sure, sure. Okay, couple of quick questions here, Deborah. First of all, when you say you've had whiplash your whole life, I sort of hear that as maybe you had some type of a car incident when you were younger?
It was abuse. But
oh
yeah.
My gosh. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Of course there's emotions. Oh my goodness. That would be very, very emotion driven. Okay. So then also, how long have you been using the Genius for?
2 months.
For 2 months. And how has been your experience so far?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's amazing what it's done for me and my family.
Wonderful. And what's one example of something that's done to help you or someone in your family?
I have a 98-year-old relative that was able to move 2 of her toes for the first time in decades.
Wow, wow. And what did you just use the basic frequencies in the program for her over the course of several sessions?
Well, it was one of my first sessions, and I hardly knew. All I knew when I started was drag red and blue lines into the trays. And I did go on into the progressive insights, but that's about all I remember because
that's great. I mean, that's, beginner's mind is sometimes, the best mind, but it's just so it goes to prove that it doesn't matter. You don't need to be a health expert as long as you get those, whatever is out of balance, you want to bring it into balance, and that has a profound effect. So I appreciate you sharing that with us and sort of affirming that fact.
Yeah, after that happened, I just really took off and started doing all kinds of things.
When you see people,
my brother that lives 20 miles away, recorded his voice over the cell phone and took a picture of a photograph I had of him, and treated him for diabetes. And he told me he felt better than he had for weeks.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. That is amazing.
It is, yeah.
So what I wanted to do for you is I wanted to check the nerve assessment, and then we'll look at the vessels. So we've got the lateral pectoral nerve, that's around the shoulder. The lingual nerve, I believe, is that what you would think it would be related to the mouth. Pudendal nerve is down in the reproductive area. Ciliary ganglion. The ulnar nerve is another one. Tibial nerve. Ulnar is another one that's a shoulder, shoulder arm nerve, and the accessory nerve. So is that what you said? Did you say that there was like some shoulder and neck stuff?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so we do see that. We see the oculomotor nerve, which would be for vision. The lateral cord is in the shoulder. The esophageal plexus is sort of in that area as well. That's related to digestion. Jugular ganglion also in that neck area. So we do see a lot of echoes of that. And now I also, because I'm sort of tight for time, I want to jump into this vessel balancing here. And then we just do a quick check here, see if there's anything, first of all, that comes up. The major arteries, these are all, okay. Do you have any known cardiovascular issues, or is that something that's been pretty steady, healthy for you?
None that I know of.
Yeah,
Well,
because they come up pretty clean.
yeah, I don't go to medical doctors very much, so
That's might not be a bad thing. If nothing's broken, don't let them fix it.
yeah.
So yeah, so we sort of see the difference there, that there's not a lot of red things, red issues coming up. There is a sort of a yellow 664 in leg vessels, and this is something that is good to know about. It's good to know. So the popliteal vessel is not, having as much circulation. The sural, these are all down in the lower part of the leg, the anterior tibial, and these are good to run them from time to time. Let's just go ahead and just look at the solutions panel right here and see what comes up. But yeah, I think the nerve one was the more important one for you. And then we want to do emotions and flower essences. Okay, it does say L-arginine has a pretty high resonance for you. That helps to clear the vessels. Turmeric, of course, anti-inflammatory. Magnesium taurate, that's one that's good for nervous system stuff. It does feed the heart and the vessels. How's your sleep?
It's not so good, but that is more related to stomach things.
Oh, your stomach. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so that, but that may help, because that may help to calm the nerves, which digestion is always related to how well your nervous system is running, how well your nervous system is doing. So we get a lot of the magnesiums coming up for you as well. And again, that would help to feed the nervous system. We have a very common supplement that we use in naturopathic medicine, which has a funny name. It's called Magna-Livers. And it is a very special formulation of magnesium and taurine together, along with a little bit of glutathione. And it tends to go right into the cells. This may help both your digestive and your sleep issue. And if you can't find that one, you can at least find magnesium taurate, which is the combination of the mineral magnesium and the amino acid taurine. Both, I think, would have a lot of value for you.
Okay.
So that's being shown right there, that magnesium taurate. Then we always want to get in the emotions. So have you been using the emotional panel for yourself?
Yes.
Okay, very, very significant, and a very good way of, we all came in here to experience different things and to work out different things. Sounds like you're very much at peace and aware of that. And but we can get a lot of emotional support, and we can even use this as our own form of self-recognition. So you can look at it and just, it's a vehicle to be honest with yourself as well. To say that these emotions are hot button issues, they're still in your field, and if they're in your field, they're probably affecting you somewhere physically. So it's a really nice way to work with yourself. When you see love, it means that you sound like a very loving person, but it means there may be some disconnect to the energy of love, a past love hurt, or something like that. It means you're trying to reach out and repair your relationship with that particular positive emotion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you for explaining that.
Okay. And all of these, again, we can look at them with a very non-judgmental eye and say, that may be true, and just allow that energy to begin to release. Then we use the salve or the solution for the emotions. Again, these are very powerful frequencies. I recommend that you use them in all of your sessions, and you pull down the reds, the blues, and some of the borderline items going all the way down to even 600. Because some of these that you get even as far down as 600 may rise to the very top. So we're going to get these, whatever you can do in terms of time, get those into there. Did you understand what I talked about with the cell cleansing?
I took some notes. I've been taking a lot of notes while you've been talking.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure. It's like,
I go
yeah,
through a lot in the hour. Okay. So the pudendal nerve. So this is related to bladder health,
okay.
and in the reproductive area. And so, this could have good value. A lot of my women that I work with in women's health, this comes up for them. So it's a good one to work on. Red chestnut, over concern for the welfare of loved ones. Boy, just talking to you for the past 5 minutes, I can tell that that probably resonates for you.
Yes.
Talking about working on your 98-year-old relative and then your brother and so forth. That seems like you are the healer, the designated healer
Yeah,
in the family.
I am.
So yeah, some good nerves. The tibial nerve and the lateral pectoral nerve is in the shoulder area. And my concept with working with the nerves is this is what brings energy flow to a certain area. So if you work specifically on the nerve, and then you combine the emotions, because as you said, some of that, the past abuse, the emotions, the emotional wounds, they are still living cellularly in that aching shoulder or stiff neck or whatever it is. That's why we want to combine them all in our balancing, and also cognitively, that means in our conscious awareness, we want to recognize and be able to see that they are related. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, Deborah, it sounds like you're doing just amazing work, and I really am glad that you're coming to our classes because I think that will continue to help you to help your family members and yourself.
Thank you. I do too.
Okay, well, I'm going to do some balancing here even after the class for you, and certainly be in touch with me, Ariel, at Awaken Total Health if you have any more questions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for volunteering. I really appreciate it. All right, so that was really great. That was two wonderful cases, you guys. I really appreciate Tracy and Deborah being a part of the class today. Let's just get some final comments and questions in here. Mary Lee says, can you recommend great flower remedy books for deeper understanding? Let me see if I can send it this week out to everybody. I do have one book that's been very helpful. That's a great question. I also got a new one called Floral Acupuncture, which is based on combining the flower essences with the meridian point. So I'm working my way through that one. It's called Floral Acupuncture, and I just downloaded the Kindle version of that from Amazon, and I'm just working my way through that. So Kelly asks, could this be used for someone with blood clotting issues that is on heavy-duty prescription thinners? Yes, it absolutely could. Don't be afraid, you guys, of using your biofeedback for anyone on medication. The only caution is that at some point they may no longer need the medication. So they should just be checking in with their doctors a little bit, maybe more often. But this is gentle medicine. It is non-invasive medicine. It is like a childlike consciousness of interaction. So the body and the universal consciousness is at play here. The wisdom of universal consciousness is in play. So it is completely unlike having a rife machine where you yourself pick a frequency. That frequency may be good for you. It may not be good for you. Still, rife is much less going to cause a problem than a pharmaceutical medication is going to formulate a problem. But biofeedback is the most gentle. That is why I think it's the ultimate remedy for our time. It's going to bring people to their true level of healing in a non-invasive way. So you should not be finding side effects or freakouts or anything. So for a person with blood clotting issues that is on heavy-duty prescription, you should feel confident in using the vessel balancing program. And it's going to really pinpoint where in the body those vessel issues are the most prominent, which can be very, very helpful. Like if you're using the beamer, you could use the beamer in that particular area. Is the vessel program for sale yet? Almost, Kendra, almost. And Kendra, if you're on next week, will you remind me, because I will call on you first, and if you want to send me a voice recording and a picture of your father, I will work on him first. I'll even work on him during the week and bring you some of the things that I find, and then bring all of that back to class next week. So if you'll send me his information, his picture, anything you want me to have, I'll work on him as a way to demonstrate the Vessel program. Okay, so you guys, thank you so much. This has been an awesome class. I'm going to upload it now to YouTube and to the website awakentotalhealth.com. If I didn't get to your question, you guys, will you please send me an email, ariel@awakentotalhealth.com, and I will do my very, very best to answer your question by email. And if it's a significant question, I will bring it back to our class next week. This is the Genius Insight community. We really seek to bring people together, and I really appreciate every single one of you, your energy in being here and your passion for biofeedback. Have a very blessed and abundant week, everyone. Take care, and thanks again for being here. Bye-bye for now.